It's a new day, guys, and today's video will cover important information that you might not know about Chapter 3. First off, let's talk about the release date. Everyone is talking about it. When will it be? When are we finally gonna get our hands on this new chapter update? Currently, pretty much all of the game developers across the entire globe are on holiday for the month of July as part of their yearly summer holidays, where they get a few weeks rest from producing, working on their current projects and all of that sort of thing. So I wouldn't expect any notable sneak peeks / announcements for at least another week or so while they kind of get back into the groove of working. And on top of that, the transparency surrounding Chapter 3 just hasn't been as good as it was compared to Chapter 2. There were tons of weekly messages to the community and constant announcements / teasers about Chapter 2, which got the community really excited in the build up to the update, and there were a lot of communication and everyone knew what was going on behind the scenes. There were constant ETA announcements which started around 2 months before the actual release of it. Speaking of these announcements and comparing it to this year, I just don't see them taking the same approach as they did last year, as it just wouldn't be viable in Corona times and everything like that, where everything is kind of on the fence. And on top of that, the entire community has been waiting for a while now, almost a year to be exact, and are already as hyped as they'll probably ever be, including myself. I just can't wait to get out there and complete the storyline and learn even more about the lore of this game. Hence why I believe they may announce the estimated release date or even the exact release date in their Discord in the month of August. So that's my release date estimation. By late August, I fully believe we'll know the exact date for the Chapter 3 update. And I could be wrong, so do take that with a pinch of salt. But as for some features coming in the update, if we're going by how many were added in Chapter 2, there could be up to 100 new features, with tons of bug fixes obviously, and small changes, some of which we won't even notice. But there are a few features which I believe no one has really spoke about yet, which we may see absolutely change the game in Chapter 3. And one of these being the harpoon gun, which is to me all but confirmed, with Verona Point being a very deep point of interest. Combat far underwater will be a heavily included feature, and here's the cool part, guys. While browsing some of Redbeat's employees' art portfolios, I actually came across a very special discovery. The developer goes by the name of Felicia Helston, and they've placed a couple of their 3D art projects for Redbeat Studios on here, one of which being the good old banana plant, which was seen added in Chapter 2. However, the other is even more special. It's a 3D model of a harpoon gun with the caption stating that it's actually a work test part 1. So perhaps not a finished product, but I'm not really sure what that means. It could mean pretty much anything, but it's said to be produced for Redbeat Interactive, who are obviously the developers of Raft, and it says it was made in the winter of 2019, if that's what the date means. Perhaps that just means they couldn't fit it into Chapter 2 and had to change their plans, but I think this all but confirms the theory that we will be getting brand new scuba equipment within the Chapter 3 update. And might I say, this model is looking absolutely amazing, and it really does fit right into the theme of Raft. So moving on from that amazing piece of news, a lot of items and machines in Raft have different levels of functionality and cost and efficiency and just overall quality, some ranging from simple to advanced and even electric as the most expensive version. However, there are a few items which don't quite have all three forms yet. On top of this, one of these items, the collection net, has recently been renamed to the simple collection net, which may indicate that in future we can expect to see both advanced and possibly even electric collection nets. Now, this was pointed out by one of my subscribers, so thank you very much. I've looked further into this and it does look like it has a bit of proof behind it. Could this mean our collection nets might finally drag stuff out of the ocean, even if the trash isn't directly in its path, almost like the mod garbage sucker does? Secondly, another item in a similar state is the grill. It has both a simple and advanced stage currently, but the simple version being a basic handmade cooker which can only cook one item, and the advanced one being much more sophisticated, and although it does cost more, it can cook 3 items at once, but there is no electric one. Now, if we look at something like the purifier, it has 3 different forms: simple, advanced, and electric. So why can't the grill be the same? I genuinely think we'll see a proper electric cooking hob or oven in Chapter 3, which will most likely have 4 or more hobs to cook food on. This electric grill would be completely different to the ones currently in the game, as it would no longer take wood as its power source and would instead require a whole battery for it to run properly. These aren't the only items which we can expect to be upgraded though. I think we'll see see the engines get different upgraded versions as well. Imagine an advanced engine or an electric engine which can power much more at once than a regular old wooden one, because let's be honest, the engines currently in the game are quite old-fashioned and they're almost cheap to build. Let's be honest, like if you look at them and compare them to in real life engines, there's a long way to go. Whereas for example purifiers, we've kind of got state-of-the-art purifiers already, so maybe that's just something they were prioritizing to add earlier on because it's quite important to them. But we'd no longer need 10 engines for a big raft and could probably reduce it to 2 or less in most cases. This same sort of concept can also be applied to sails, as a larger one could be added to make it easier to go where you want even if the tide isn't in your favor. However, one I think is even more important is the addition of larger or more efficient batteries. Currently batteries are okay, I mean you can recharge them every 2 seconds, but it'd be nicer in my opinion if we simply had the option to use a few more materials in order to obtain, let's say, an advanced battery which is a longer lifespan, and it will just mean you won't have to switch out the battery so often and can focus on other important things like killing animals. I don't know. As we all know, and as I've mentioned hundreds of times, Varuna Point will no doubt bring deep diving and an oxygen tank, and with an oxygen tank already being in the game, how about once again adding better versions of an oxygen tank? For example, the advanced oxygen tank may last slightly longer but may slow you down just a bit since it might be heavier to carry, and the electric one, or just the super advanced oxygen tank, may be lighter than both the simple and advanced ones, and could also last longer than both the advanced and simple ones, meaning it will be worth it to grind those extra materials because trust me, you're going to need a whole lot of breathing time down at the bottom of Varuna Point. That thing is going to be deep, dangerous, and you'll probably be even fighting monsters down there, so you won't want to be worrying about your oxygen levels and things like that because you'll have much bigger focuses. Anyways guys, that is all I've got for you today, but let me know what you think about my ideas, and do you think they have some weight behind them? I do believe we'll 100% get at least the new harpoon gun because that's pretty much confirmed. I mean, they've made the design, why wouldn't they now implement it? And I will link the art portfolio of that developer down in the description so you guys can go check her out yourself. She does amazing work, and so do all the other 3D artists on Raft, because let's be honest, Raft is absolutely beautiful. And on top of the harpoon gun, we might even possibly get an upgraded oxygen tank, and quite likely the new garbage sucker added into the game as well, and wouldn't that be cool? I mean, I can't wait to see what they add and what they come up with, even the new things, because there will no doubt be things we haven't even thought of that we'll be able to get our hands on in chapter 3. With the staff of Redbeat returning to work pretty soon, it can't be too much longer before we hear something about chapter 3, and I know I'm ready. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you're new around here, join the family by subscribing, hit that big red button, it helps me out a ton. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I can't thank you guys enough for the recent support. It's been insane, and have a great day guys. I will see you next time.